Hello again, watch tool tweakers. In today's quick video, we are unboxing a real treat. In my opinion anyway. Yes, another unboxing video. Let's ask that age-old philosophical question. What came first, the chicken or the bum nut? For a watch to exist, you need the parts. To make the parts, you first need the tools. And today, we are looking at some of the finest tools. This chapter sees us looking at a set of tools from none other than Bergeon. When I utter the name Bergeon, a quiet falls over the room with distant angelic music, only to be startled from this dream by the reality of the cash register tallying up the bill. Bergeon are a tool manufacturer based in Switzerland and are famed for making precision quality tools. Any watchmaker will have bought or inherited a Bergeon tool of some sort or other. Such is their quality, they become items to be handed down. The originally named Ferrez company have been producing hardware in this region of Switzerland for the watch industry since 1791. First setting up shop in Le Loc, only 15 minutes from their current location. Based in the watchmaking mecca of La Chaux-de-Fonds, nestled in the Neuchâtel mountain region, it seems fitting a precision tool maker should set up shop mere minutes from Cottinger's Cave, where tools were made by literally cave people, dating back some 40,000 plus years, were discovered. It's interesting to reflect on the tools that were made in ancient times, be it knives, scrapers, hammers, all of which are used by watchmakers to this day, albeit a little more refined. The founding family of Father Frederick Frere and his 3 sons built up the company, supplying materials to watch and clock makers. Being perfectly placed, they quickly built up the business. Sadly, there was no succession to the Frere business. Maybe they should have watched that TV show. Knowing a good thing when they see it, a group of employees took over the business. Mr. Jules Bergeon teamed up with Mr. Jacot, another famous toolmaker team in their own right, to keep the lights on and the wheels turning. Pun intended. Eventually, Jules Bergeon and his son Marcel were left to run the business by the 1930s. The 1930s were not a good time to be running a small business. Global economies were in a tumultuous state. Despite this interwar economic spin cycle, Bergeon & C expanded, having both the watch and jewellery makers recognising Bergeon as a house of quality. It managed to not only maintain, but prosper. This steady rise hit the Hesselite ceiling of watchmaking, otherwise known as the quartz crisis, where in the 1980s, mechanical watches fell out of favour, being replaced by battery-operated quartz models, offering reliability, accuracy, magnitudes ahead of their now aged-looking mechanical cousins. Bergeon, seeing the writing on the wall for the mechanical watch craft for the foreseeable future, pivoted to focus on the jewellery trade. Now, decades later, we see a rebound in mechanical watches again, breathing new life into all aspects of the industry, from leatherwork in strap manufacture to machining all the hundreds of thousands of minute parts that go into making up the timepieces that now adorn the wrist. To assemble these parts, we require specialist tools. Such is the growth and evolution of these humble tools. This one company now serves over 3,000 different items to assist craftspeople in the watch and jewellery industry alike. These tools become an extension of one's dexterity, creating mechanisms of such intricacy and ornamentation. Tools vary in size and shape, like, for example, the countless number of hammers and anvils. They range in size from the tiny and delicate to the slightly less tiny and delicate. The myriad of saws that have been designed and made for very specific cuts. There are files and pliers and tweezers and drills and screwdrivers. I read once someone in one of the royal families once say, "Buy once, but buy well." He was talking about his eye-wateringly expensive watch. At the time I thought that's all well and good for royalty to say. However, time has mellowed my judgment somewhat. I have bought and rebought tools over the years, as budget would allow. All these tools do the job, there is no question. The files file, the drills drill, the screwdrivers drive. The other day I was working on a little quartz watch for a video, tidying it up to wear, and I was looking at a screw and I asked myself, "Self, do you think that screw head is 0.6mm or 0.8mm? I reached over to my set of cost-effective screwdrivers that have been serving me perfectly well for a bunch of years now, and I pick up both drivers. Looking at them, I can't see the difference, not by eye, though I thought I would be able to. Luckily, I have next to me old whiz calipers, so I thought I would just measure which is which. But wouldn't you know it, they are identical in size. They were sold to me as 10-sized screwdrivers, but in reality, some corners were cut. This got me thinking, what do professional screwdrivers look like? So I went on the internet and down the rabbit hole I went. There are several brands out there that are favoured by professionals, the likes of Bergeon, as I mentioned earlier, and Horological, both equally excellent by all reports. There comes a point in every watchmaker's journey where you look at a tool that has a price tag that reads like a phone number, and you just commit. This is the point where you are saying to yourself, I'm committing to this hobby. I'm outlaying serious coin for quality. The quality of the tools reflects the quality of the work I'm trying to achieve. Which brings us to the unboxing of the Bergeon 30081 S10 screwdriver set. After my heart sank with the inaccuracy of my previous screwdriver set, I decided to make the splurge. PSA, these were actually a gift from my mum for my birthday. Thanks, Mum. She wanted to get me something useful and special, and this is where we came to. Let's dive in and take a look. The number 30081 is the style of screwdriver. These are an all stainless steel driver, shank and handle. The coloured tops are a sort of plastic. These are colour coded to suit the size. Looking at the simple square white cardboard packaging, it is very utilitarian. No metaphoric hyperbole was wasted in the presentation of the packaging. The white box is adorned with a yellow sticker, proudly showing the brand name, Bergeron, and under that, Swiss made. The sticker has the image of the set, also written in 3 languages. The set is the S10, which has 10 screwdrivers, plus the rotating stand and some spare driver blades. I feel the spare driver blades, especially the small ones, are important as I continue to learn this craft. On the back of the box, the sticker continues, and in 4 languages it states what is in the box. The turning stand with 10 watchmakers screwdrivers, ergonomic head made of self-lubricating POM synthetic material, with spare blades in plastic tube. On the label there is a diagram of an individual screwdriver showing the blade shank and the handle are made from inox steel. And just below it gives you the driver sizes. In the hand the box is surprisingly heavy. This does give a feel of confidence already, even if this just is a psychological play. Opening the box there is a simple piece of white protective card, and removing that we start to see the screwdrivers. As you can see, they are all individually wrapped, and there are 2 sets of 5. You can clearly see the coloured tops here. One interesting thing to note, the handles are in 2 sizes. For the smaller drivers, there is the smaller handle size. I'll look at that a little closer when we assemble it all together. Next is another piece of white card, and under that is the rotating base. This is where all the weight is in the packaging. You can see there are holes for each of the drivers, all labelled with their size, and under that there are the small plastic tubes which contain the replacement driver shanks. Each one contains 2 spare drivers. These are all colour-coded to match the screwdrivers. This is a rotating base, and it must be on a bearing system because the way the top rotates is so smooth. Like, so smooth. The top, where all the drivers sit, and the black base section are all machined out of what feels like anodized steel. The base measures 9 centimeters across. On the side of the rotating section, it states in white text, Bergeon, and the model number of the series 30081-S10. In between this is a rubber ring, and this is an interesting thing really. Having the ring there gives you a sense of tactile and grip that the straight steel wall would otherwise give you. Let's put this all together. And I can now see the screwdrivers in the plastic sleeves are packed in order of size. I don't know why that excites me, but it does. Starting with the small drivers, they all fit really nicely into the holes in the base. I can see in the base there is a lip inside the hole, and the driver sits against that lip. The rotating base is so smooth. It's like a corporate desk ornament from a CEO's office in the 1980s. Looking at the 30081 screwdriver, it feels like a quality item. The driver is very nicely machined with the top and bottom in a satin finish. The centre section of the driver, you can see, has this very prominent knurling. The knurling section is also raised above the top and bottom of the driver. Without looking at the driver, I can feel that I'm engaging with the knurled section. Laser etched into the tip of the handle is the driver size, and at the other end it shows Bergeon and Swiss made, topped with the rotating cap. The action of the cap is nice and smooth too, made from what feels like a tough plastic. And lastly, the top of the driver head is embossed with the letter B. The shank of the driver is held into the handle with one flathead grub screw. Luckily, I have a screwdriver to fit that. If we look at the shank of the driver, we can see there is a machined flat on one side, and this will help to grip under that grub screw. What I can see, each driver handle is machined to accept the correct size blade. The hole is, as you would expect now, a precision fit. Here you can see the size difference between the 2 handles. The diameter of the smaller size is 4 mm compared to the larger size diameter being 5 mm. Turning our attention back to the base or stand, the machined top has space for each of the containers for the spare driver blades, and above that we have the size of each screwdriver. The printed text is very legible at a glance. It's interesting, this top section has 3 facets machined into it. The top round circle, then the section for the size markings, and lastly the face for the driver handles. The blasted and anodized finish gives these 3 facets different shades in the light. This is the only question I have. Why are the spare blades on the outside ring and the screwdrivers on the inside ring? I'm sure there was a conscious design decision behind this. Every other facet of these seems to have been well thought out. It's just this one I don't quite understand. I would have thought having the handles on the outside ring would have made more sense with the spare drivers on the inside. It's not important, it's just an interesting observation. If you know the reason behind this, or have used this set for a long time and understand the ergonomic decision behind this, please let me know in the comments below. So, what is the fate of my old screwdriver set? I can assure you they are not being retired quite so easily. I'm going to make some new driver blades as a lathe project. I very much look forward to using this new set of Bergeron screwdrivers. They really do have a premium feel about them, and I'm sure they will last well beyond my lifetime. Is it a bit weird to have such a strong emotional attachment to a set of screwdrivers? Of course it is, and I make no apology. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next chapter. Did I just write a 6-page love letter to a screwdriver? Tools vary in size and shape, like the countless number of handles. Handles? What the hell is a handle? There is a diagram of an individual screwdriver showing the blade shank and the handle are made from inox steel. And just below,